Next section. Reframe. Find better perspectives. The most useful part of this book. Imagine you're reframing a painting. First, you remove the old frame. Then you try different frames. The first 3 parts of this book were helping you remove the old frame. That was just preparing for this. Now it's time to try different frames. Explore many different ways of looking at your situation, finding perspectives you'd never considered before. Where you felt stuck, you'll see a great way out. You'll find an angle that excites you. What was cloudy will be a clear plan of action. You'll see a smarter strategy. Where you felt haunted, you'll feel at peace. These are the powers of reframing. Who chooses your next thoughts? In the book, the word next is in parentheses there, so actually it's more like, who chooses your next thoughts? You might say, I can't help the way I feel, as if it's completely out of your control, as if you have no choice and are unable to feel any other way. But you do have a choice. Think a different way, and you'll feel a different way. You choose your reaction. Not the first one, but the next. There's a crucial moment in between when something happens and when you actually respond. It's an important life skill. It's as simple as this. 1, something happens. 2, get past your first emotional reaction. 3, consider other ways of looking at it. 4, pick one that feels empowering or useful. 5, it shapes how you feel and what you'll do. Simple, but not easy. The hardest part was getting past your first reaction. You choose how you think and feel. You choose your meanings. Other people's judgments, values, and meanings are also inside of you, but you can replace these with your own. If you don't choose your perspectives, then you leave them up to mood, manipulation, or your worst impulses. Control your thoughts or be controlled. Answer great questions. Pick something that's holding you back from what you want to do, be, or feel. It might feel like physical fact. I'm too old. I can't afford it. Even if you are old and have no money, that has not stopped others, so that's not the real problem. Beliefs are often self-fulfilling. Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. Think nobody will love you? Think there are no opportunities? You can make bad dreams come true. Doubt limitations. What's another way to see it? What perspective would help? Ask better questions. I'm too old becomes, how can I use my age to my advantage? I can't afford it becomes, how can I afford it? Every problem becomes, what's great about this? Go back to your favorite books, movies, thinkers, or heroes. They're your favorites for good reason. They have lessons or wisdom you can use. What did they teach you? What would they say? Ask any AI to list empowering questions. There's no shortage of great questions, but don't just ingest them. You have to really answer them. Diamond in the trash. When things aren't going well, you're in a bad state of mind. If you ask yourself a healthy question like, what's great about this? Your answer will probably be nothing. This is just bad. Don't be so sure. Push past that first thought. Keep asking. You can always find something useful. Use what you learned about brainstorming. Don't stop at the second or third answer. Come up with crazy ideas. Use what you learned from jigsaw puzzles. Start with the edges. Come up with extreme and ridiculous ideas that you'd never actually do, but are good for inspiration and finding the middle. We resist good ideas that require us to change. You think you're not that kind of person? Not yet, but you can be. Keep all ideas around. You seem to be locked in a jail cell, But if you know there's actually a secret exit, you'll look harder, pushing and pulling everything until you find it. You seem to be holding a bag of trash, but if you know there's actually a diamond inside, you'll sift through the junk until you find it. Your mind has a lot of trash and often tells you there's no way out of your situation. There's nothing great about this. But if you decide that there is, you'll keep looking until you find it. Expand your repertoire. To change, reach past what comes naturally. Avoid your defaults. Get guidance outside of yourself. Use a different tool. Oblique Strategies is the name of a deck of cards where each card has one creative suggestion. When making music or anything, if you get stuck, you shuffle the cards, randomly pick one, and apply what it says. Some examples: not building a wall, making a brick. Use an unacceptable color. Honor thy error as a hidden intention. I had a poster on my wall of 20 different circles painted by 20 different artists. Each circle had a very different style, color, filling, and texture. When I didn't know what to do, I'd think about how each artistic approach could be metaphorically applied to my life. Now I learn about foreign cultures and try to really understand the different worldviews. Instead of judging, I try to see the benefits of their perspective. I travel to inhabit philosophies. In the spirit of all this, I wrote a book called How to Live that presents 27 vastly different approaches to life, each taken to an extreme. It's meant to be used like the oblique strategies or the paintings of circles. I consider this book, Useful Not True, to be like a prequel for that, so consider reading it next in the mindset of reframing and finding other perspectives. Traits of useful perspectives. To list all of the beliefs I've found useful would fill a whole book. Actually, 4 books so far, since that's what my previous books were about. So instead, for your own ideation, it might help if I list the traits that my most useful perspectives have shared. Direct. Go directly for what I really want, instead of using other means to get there. This requires soul-searching of my real motivations. What do I really want? And what's the point of that? Am I keeping a job just to feel secure? Getting a university degree just for the status? Starting a business for the freedom? Instead, find a more efficient path to the real end result. Energizing. I'll think of many smart but uninspiring perspectives. Then one makes me bolt straight up in my seat, full of excitement. It inspires me to take immediate action. Note that fear is a form of excitement. Self-reliant. It doesn't depend on anything out of my control. It doesn't need anyone's approval or involvement. It doesn't need anything to change. It works no matter what happens. It's about the process, not the outcome. Balancing. Lately, I've had too much of something and not enough of something else. Comfort versus challenge. Social time versus me time. Exploring versus focusing. Prioritize what's been neglected. Selfless. I see myself from the outside and know that I basically don't matter. My needs are nothing compared to other people's, so how can I help? Useful means for them and the greater good. Selfish. Generosity can go too far. Protect the goose that lays the golden eggs. Practice healthy self-respect and self-care that comes from self-worth. Lucid and lasting. Coming from a good state of mind. Not angry, hurt, envious, or upset, not even ecstatically happy. It's smart and still seems like a good perspective a day or a week later when I'm in a different state. Test first. No matter how certain I feel, test an idea in reality. Before deciding, try it. Before buying something big, rent it more than once. Before quitting, take a break. Healthy. Do the right thing. Do what's wise and good, even if I don't feel like it. Ask my idealized highest self how to think about this. Long term, in the big picture of my whole life, this is just a phase. Keep my eyes on the horizon. Short-term discomfort or pain can bring a deeply fulfilling reward. Serve the future. Compensating for bias and prejudice. Correcting my bias, like my example of bowling and frisbee earlier in this book. Do the opposite of my instincts. If I tend to walk away, I choose to stay. When I notice I'm prejudiced against something, I choose to get to know it and appreciate it. These have been the best beliefs for personal growth. 5 tiny tales of reframing. On the Olympic podium stood the winners of the gold, silver, and bronze medal. The silver medalist was so angry at herself for not being just a little bit faster, just milliseconds away from winning the gold. The bronze medalist was so happy with herself, just milliseconds away from winning nothing. The former student was disheartened that she was failing at everything, so she went back to visit her old teacher. When she told him her troubles, the old man said, "Guess my secret number from 1 to 100. 50? Higher. 75? Lower." With each try, she smiled more until she correctly guessed the number. Then she thanked him for the reminder that every wrong guess is not a failure, but just one step closer to success. 2 Japanese businessmen visiting Brazil had scheduled lunch to be delivered at 1 p.m. When the food finally arrived at 3 p.m., one of the men was furious. The other man was amused to witness this example of how differently their cultures treat time, and laughed at his own expectations. A couple had been married for many years but just divorced. The man's friends approached him with sad sensitivity. "Oh, you must be so devastated." But one friend greeted him with joy, saying, "Congratulations! Nobody leaves a great relationship. I'm proud you both put an end to the struggle." This made him feel better for the first time. How long should we mourn a loved one's death? For some people, it's years or the rest of their life. But in a traditional New Orleans funeral, musicians accompany the coffin down the street, and after a few minutes of a solemn, slow dirge, the music turns festive in a happy celebration. The funeral is a parade to honor that person's life, and the focus turns from grief to appreciation. Switching from sad to happy is always an option, even at the worst times in life. An awesome collection of great questions. This is where I would share powerful questions that you can answer for big insights and change. But here's why I'm not. I've read books that have long lists of questions. But when I'm reading, I want to keep reading, not stop for hours or days at that spot pondering every question. I've read books that act like a workbook, giving many blank pages with lines, expecting you to write your answers in that space. Does anyone actually do this? It doesn't work on ebook or audiobook. I'd rather use my own journal. If I put questions here, I'd think of better ones after the book is published. So here's what we'll do. Go to sive.rs/u. That's the permanent website for this book, where I'll keep an ever-improving collection of helpful questions free for you to take and use whenever you want. I hope you agree that it's better than this page of this book could ever be.